2012, that is the big hype. I'm watching so many people make so much money off of so many people behind 2012. Do you have your 2012 life pack? Do you have your 2012, computer prevention crash technique? Do you have your 2012 clothing? This, that, and the other. And we just got here. Already, it closely gets to December, we're gonna get more scared and more scared and more scared. My question is, what is ending? Is it the world ending, or is it the world run by capitalists that's ending? That's my question. I'm looking around, I see their world ending, not ours. I see movements popping up all over the place. That's what I see. I see there's a shift. They say there's a polar shift going on, and the earth is shifting, polar shift. The only shift I see is in the consciousness of the people. That's the polar shift. Because you connected to the earth. If you talk about the scientific polar shift, that's been going on for the last 50 years. Slowly but surely it's been inching over for the last 50 years. Like this summer, the moon was closest to the earth that it's been in the last 30 years. They didn't even hype that up, But it was real close to the earth all summer long. You could see it in the size of it, and it came out earlier, went in later. And it caused, naturally some reactions on the earth. It caused some waves. It caused a couple of little shakes and tremors. It also caused people that are kind of crazy, because we're connected directly with that. But they didn't hype that up. They went straight to the big stuff. Everything, Mayan calendar. And at the end of the Mayan calendar, 2012, y'all dead. I went and got this off the internet today. And it's interesting because I thought it was just about the calendar, but it started talking about like the oppression of Mayan people and the murder of Mayan people by the corrupt governments that have been installed by the Western powers. Then it went on to talk about the world will not end. See, Carlos Barrios was born into a Spanish family in the highlands of Guatemala. His home was in Huintengo, also the dwelling place of the Mayan Mam, M-A-M tribe. And it went on to say that the anthropologists visit the temple sites, Barrios says, read and steal the inscriptions and make up stories about the Maya, but they do not read the signs correctly. It's just their imagination. Other people write about prophecy in the name of the Maya. They say the world will end in December 2012. The Mayan elders are angry with this. The world will not end. It will be transformed. The indigenous have their calendars and know how accurately to interpret it, not others. Mayan comprehension of the time, seasons, and cycles have proven itself to be vast and sophisticated. The Mayan understands 17 different calendars, some of them charting time accurately over a span of more than 10 million years. The calendar has steadily drawn global attention since 1987. It's called the Cholig, and it devised ages ago and based on a cycle that is still held sacred. And they go and explain the cycle in the pictures here. But what they're saying basically is that it's not the end of the world, it's the end of the world. That shift that we've been talking about, that a lot of us, black, white, blue, green, are not going to survive. That conscious shift, that spiritual shift, that new understanding that's coming, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, and I also want to say, like the Willie Lynch letter was written in 1712. He said you'll be able to control your slaves for 300 years. Just haven't said it.
Just 12, exactly. Now, I came out of Nation Gods and Earth. We started learning about mathematical numbers. And I learned everything is mathematical. Go all the way back to Kemet. And all the great societies, no matter where they at some point in the society, they deal with science. For us, 2 means wisdom. Wisdom, a wise word spoken by wise people based on your knowledge. 0 represents a cipher or a complete 360 degrees. 1 is knowledge, the foundation of all things. And 2, again, I told you, is wisdom. If you equal this up, this 1 and 2 is 3. And 3 means understanding. So if I have wisdom, that's the 2, of my cipher, which is my total surrounding. That doesn't mean my neighborhood. It doesn't mean my particular little part on the earth. That means a total understanding of everything. I can see clearly. And then I have an understanding. Right, a knowledge and a wisdom. Excuse me, let me write that all down. I want to see how everybody sees this. Then I have a knowledge. And then that gives me a new wisdom. And we say that understanding is the best part. Now, understanding. Now, if I have a wisdom of everything that gives me a new or transformed or shifted knowledge, which gives me another wisdom better than the one I had in the beginning, which brings about a new understanding. A new understanding. So this is why you see children of rich people having a fit. That's brand new. They ain't used to that. Them kids in Wall Street, some of them look like us, some of them for our area, but some of them were not. Some of them got involved that normally would not have said anything. You know, you had religions crossing hands down there. You had races coming together on a point. You had cultural or class people, the different classes coming together, working class people, mixing with college students, mixing with people who was on some I love America, red, white, and blue, and sitting down with a dude that's like, I can't stand America. But I agree with you that this ain't happening. See, you had to go down there and see it for what it is. Of course, you got your antagonistic people in the mix. But overall, if you back up and watch it, and then it didn't just pop off everywhere because of great planning. It popped up everywhere because the timing is right. You can plan all you want. If people ain't ready, they ain't ready. You know, in some places, nobody told them. They just imitated it. The People Survival Program, what we're doing right now, for those who've been rocking with us, is in Taiwan right now. That little brother Jackie, I was talking to him on the phone the other day, and they got it together in 1 month, and they in Taiwan.
Coming to the food drive?
Right.
Wow.
The first food drive he came to a month ago, he was by himself. He came, he observed it. He was so impressed with what was going on. That kid.
So his friend came with him. Remember?
Right, the two of them came, yeah. They came. He said, you know what? He was so impressed. They got back on the phone with people in Taiwan, explained what's going on, clipped into a couple of videos, and imitated it. Why was it able to kick off the ground? Not because we got some super program, because the timing is right. The time, place, and condition. People got to eat everywhere. People should not be without food, clothing, shelter, basic medical attention. And that's something that all oppressed people share. That's something that all oppressors are doing to all oppressed people. Denying them basic human rights. So when you deal with that, this is that 2012. See, if we keep doing this everywhere, if this keep popping up everywhere, you're damn right it's going to be the end of the world. For them dudes that's getting that money off the fact that we don't do that. You know, if I'm selling drugs in the block, everybody start going to rehab, I'm out of business.
In your world.
In my world, yeah. Their world starting all over again. They getting a fresh shot at life. You know, you got people that are coming home, they got felonies, and people who never ever associate with a person with a felony is saying, come on, let me help you get this job. Let me rap with you. See, this is what we're trying to do with the P.S.P. We're trying to bring those kind of ends together. People who probably thought they'd never be talking to this guy, well, you are. You know, we got people out there serving food that live in Harlem and didn't understand the situation of Harlem until they came out there and served food.
You know, let me just share this with you. Remember I told you that every now and then this lady gives these super sandwich things, and I help her every time she have one of these events.
Mm-hmm.
She came out last Friday to the food drive that we had, and she was like, you must be saying every time you see mine, she ain't doing nothing. She's because this is big. She was so impressed with seeing all the people and all of us working hand in hand, just handling that. She was like, I gotta help y'all. So what do y'all need me to do? But she was so, because she does these little things in these little churches, and I always help her. But when she saw what we had going on, she was like, wow, this is really something.
Now you think about it. When we in math class, right? You know how you check math. Anybody know how to check math? Like if I say 3 and 3 is 6, how do I check it to make sure 3 and 3 is 6?
Take away.
Right, I go back.
Divide.
Yeah, divide, take it. But you want to come up with the reverse or the same number that you started ended up with, right? Okay, so 12, 12, 21, right? 1 and 1 is 3. And that's 3 equals 6. 6 is equality. Now remember I told you, you ended up here with a divine understanding, a new understanding, right? They say on 12, December 21st, the world gonna end. So 2 and 1 is 3, that's an understanding. 2 and 1 is 3, that's an understanding. 3 and 3 is 6. So spiritually, what we're gonna end up with is equality. So the only people who are not gonna be here are the people who are opposed to equality. Balance. All these struggles are based on balance. The Mayan calendar is not talking about the destruction of Earth, but the balancing of things. The balancing of the haves and the have-not. The balancing of the genders. The balancing of the races. The balancing of the spirituality. And then we'll step into what we say is 7. And 7 is God. Now, people say, what you mean God? 7 is God, completion. That total understanding. That total movement. You know, that's what it is. 6 is equality. 7 is the Almighty, the All-Knowing. You call them gods. You know, different names. But at the end, you're saying that one source that created all things. That's what we're doing. See, so we got to be careful when we read all these things, like not to be caught out there by the movie 2012. You know, and not because now don't get it twisted. There will be some chaos because one thing is definite and two things are definite in the universe. There's change and resistance to change. That's definite. So you're gonna have some people that's gonna go chaotic and they're gonna do the what's this guy's name? Book of Eli thing, walking around with pipes, trying to kill and murder, because they don't understand what's going on. They're not in tune. You see, they're not in tune. And then they're also going to have running dogs of the system, as Mao Zedong talks about. People who the system will employ to go out there and create the chaos. Everybody out here talking about the end of 2012 is not your friend. Some people are being paid to deliberately brainwash us into thinking that 2012 is destruction. So go for yourself. It's like the capitalist dream. Man, wasn't the Earth supposed to end a couple of months ago? It was September. No, recently, like September, it was supposed to end.
It was March, September.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
That man broke, yeah.
No, he ain't go broke.
Some other broke.
People went broke believing in that guy. He cleaned up. I mean, he was on the internet with the shirts and everything. And then all he said was, I'm sorry.
My
My bad.
That wasn't the first thing he did. He did that
Yeah.
all the way to the bank. 2 years ago.
That's a great hustle, though.
He did it in March. He said, I need
It's a
some
beautiful
money.
hustle. He just goes up and said, look, we're going to die.
He said that's all the way to the bank.
Yeah, all the way to the bank. And all he goes, he gets back on the news and goes, I
He tried
miscalculated.
to, but it didn't go.
You can't do it because he's not telling you to follow him. He's just putting out his information. And if you do it, it's on you. You see what I'm saying? It's on you. So now, Y2K, we all remember that, right? Everybody's buying these things. People didn't even have computers when we were buying computer software. Because the computers were going to crash. We was going to go back to the early DOS system and Lotus system. So people was getting books trying to relearn computers, get back to DOS, and nothing happened. You know? Now they talking about solar flares. Oh, solar flares are going to come over the Earth, and these magnetic storms are going to wipe out all technology. And yes, there are solar flares happening every day. You know, some things we just can't stop. Don't get it twisted. Just like society changes, the biological Earth has to change. Those in tune with it will be all right. Those who are not, that's another story. You know, but if we keep buying into this hype, this is the hype that got young people like right now, like, I don't care, whatever, man. It's going to die in December anyway. I might as well go all out before December. Give me your stuff. Straight up. You got a lot of us, subconsciously, we shutting down. Every day we like, I don't care. I don't care. And you looking at the calendar like, shh. Wait till it be November. Some people are like, I quit. You know, go and cuss your boss out. I don't care. Don't care what you say. You know, you're going to lead your families, all that craziness. But this is how we do. Why? Because of propaganda. You know, because of media misinterpretation. Now, the solutions to all of this. Now that we know this, what are the solutions? Because, you know, I like to talk about solutions. So what are we going to do about this? Anybody got some ideas? Yes.
Culture class.
Come to the culture class. Learn, that's one.
Read.
Another solution.
Like the Black Panther Party, develop your own journal, media, source of media. Your own research.
Right.
Our story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a tricky question here. Our story. Does our story just stop with people that look like me? Or do you have a responsibility across the board?
Across the board.
I want to stress that. Because obviously, we have people here from another race. It's no mystery. And we got to clean this up now. Being a black person, my priority lies with people that look like me. Her priority lies with people who look like her. His priority lies with people who look like him. As women, your priority lies with people that look like you. As men, our priority lies with people who look like us. However, we are all connected. So our responsibility at some point is to bring the information back to the board and share it with each other. So we can all start to change things. Don't let ourselves be trapped off by opportunistic people who keep us separated so they can continue to reign. Be very, very, very careful of that.
They can continue to work.
Rule. Have popularity. You know, I'm this incredibly gifted black speaker. And I got everybody rolling with me because we're going to take care of the black community. But I don't ever take you around no one else's community because you might start to see a human connection between you and them. And then you might start to have understanding that you got a higher responsibility after you settle your problems, is to go out there and settle other people's problems and bring understanding back to this. See, everybody loves Malcolm X's book, but nobody liked the last 4 or 5 pages. He talked about his regrets. And one of his major regrets is when that white girl walked up to him and said, "What can I do?" He said, "Nothing." He said later on, as he matured, he said, no, I should not have said nothing. He said, I should have told her what you can do for me is go back to your community and explain what you see here and gather other people to think like you to do the work that helps me to have more time to do the work I need to do here. You see? So when I went to Wall Street, I was clear, like, yeah, okay, a lot of these issues, they're not directly related to me, but it's a start. Now my responsibility is to go increase the P.S.P. up in Harlem, up in the Bronx, the people that look like me. So we can mature, so I won't have a psychological disconnect that when she walk in the room, I feel nervous. I feel like I should not say this, or I should not do that. I should not do this because she's in the room. See, that's another part of media hype. That's another part of colonialism that we have to crush. See? In the words of Steve Biko, my black skin doesn't make me inferior, her white skin, and she might not even be of European race, I'm just using her as an example, does not make her superior. We're all humans. And we all have an equal responsibility to clean up our houses. And we all have an equal responsibility. We're going to be the ones to bring that unity, but it got to be a principled unity. It can't be a unity of admiration. You know, I can't just be united because I think white people got it all going on and I think black people are stupid. That's why I want to work with white people. No, it can't be that. It can't be the reverse. I'm just so fascinated with black culture and I think white people are so bad I want to work with black people. Nope, can't be that. Can't be I want to work with Latino or Hispanic people because they speak that Spanish language. I think that language is really cool and I like their music. I want to get down with them. Or I'm into martial arts, so I want to be with all the Chinese and Asian people. No, it got to be a connection of mutuality, where we understand each other's cultures and we're striving to find the core connection, a common denominator to these cultures. That is the only way we're going to keep capitalism at bay. Because if we don't, capitalism rules, because now they get to make 8 papers instead of 1. You know, paper for white folks, paper for black folks, paper for the Asians, paper for the Spanish people. You know what I mean? Then a women's paper, man's paper. You know, we just need 1 paper, man, with some sections about all of that we can all read together and study together. This is how to be the higher thinking. And we can't get trapped off. We got to listen to the spiritual voice that's speaking. You see, part of that 2012, the Mayans are talking about, not just the Mayans, we just hype them up. You know, but you can go into the Dogon, the people of Africa called the Dogon. They're saying the exact same thing the Mayans are saying. You know, you can go into the Tibetan hills. They're saying the same things that the Dogons and the Mayans are saying. Every spiritual group, even if you go into Abyssinia, the birthplace of what they call Christianity, they're saying the same thing. That there has to be a spiritual consciousness that needs to change because this world is killing itself. We're so detached from humanism that we're killing ourselves. And we cannot, I'm talking Africa now, we cannot claim Africa without claiming humanism. Africa is the birthplace of all mankind. So as the descendants of the birthplace of mankind, we are the natural custodians of the earth. It is our job to step forth first and say that. Don't worry about popularity tests. Oh, Chuck is selling out. Oh, he's soft. Or if you think that way, you're crazy. No, we're not crazy. Because do we want to, in turn, the children of people who have been suppressed for over 400 years, create oppressors for another 800 years of other people? Is that what we're fighting for? I don't think so. What we're fighting for is a clearer understanding of self-worth for our people. And then we are to go out and show other people, like, look, man, you ain't got to do this. Here's how you do it. And let's do this together.